Hello guys, how are you doing? Sunday evening, almost midnight here, so the futures market is opening in roughly 40 minutes. Can't wait to see what it brings, especially for uranium. We have been talking about this volatility incoming. We talked about it 2 weeks ago, and last week we finally got it. Still, we have some levels that needs to be cleared, but overall, it's a weird, difficult one to guess. And but in this video, I'll just go through quickly the charts: gold, silver, platinum, oil, uranium, and some other stuff, just to see where we are in time, maybe what level to look for this week. And yeah, as always, guys, follow me on Twitter, give me the thumbs up, follow me here on YouTube, and especially Substack, where I do most of the work. And I think with that said, we need to look into what's important, because silver is. I'm just gonna switch up my mic here 1 second, just to be fully aligned with my. There it is. Cool. So silver had an amazing Friday, basically clearing the bull flag right here, and yes, it looks really strong. There's nothing to really be worried about at the moment. That could change, but for now, full on bullish mode. And also, the members, I showed that this was the level to get above right here, 29.8 roughly. So, and when we got above, you can see we started to rally. So, a great call on that one. For last week, we looked at it. Before the week, Sunday last week, we looked at it and we needed to get above that, 29.7. But overall, silver, I have nothing really to say here. We are above the 30 weekly, above $30, within the uptrend channel, broken bull flag. For now, it looks extremely good. So yeah, things can change really fast, but for now, we have to see what the chart is giving you, and I expect the flag high here, the triangle high at 32.5, to get touched here within potentially this week. Actually, that is very likely to touch that one. That will be resistance, no doubt about it. We have it right there. That will be resistance, but that is the target for this week. So silver looks really good. This is gold. Again, you can see ever since we broke here 2075, we started to rally, and basically overall it still looks insanely good. There were a little bit of hesitation here with that inverted head and shoulders pattern a lot of people were talking about, but also I mentioned that actually this, I think, is highly likely a continuation where we break the head shoulder trend line, and then we went on for a big move here. We are into some short-term resistance, but still here, I think, since we have taken out, depending on which one you pick, the right shoulder highs, again, this pattern here has been negated with that one there. So really good here. Ideally, I want to see, if we zoom into the 4-hourly, ideally I want to see us hold above the high over there, where we started to collapse big time. It must have been some data point coming out. If we hold that, that's extremely bullish. Next one we have on the table is right there, roughly 2,365. That's the next one in line here. But if we hold that high there, in my opinion, that's the most bullish scenario that we can get here. A bit stretched here on the 4-hourly. But I think, yeah, we have a decent chance. The reason why it's also important, in my opinion, is you have this over here. You can basically see that we start to collapse big time. I call this the waterfall level there. And that's usually huge support and resistance, and we need to hold that, basically. But overall, gold here on the weekly, I mean, this is, I have removed a lot of the lines here because they basically are out of date, but we have this lovely inverted head and shoulders with a tag there and we had bullish consolidation and we ripped. The target is still, I think, 2,550 on this measured move. And yeah, I'm fully expect us to reach that this year with potentially overperformance for gold. So yeah, gold looks good. The most important, in my opinion anyways, the most important ratio is the gold to silver ratio. There's also a ratio that I follow a lot, which is the URA divided by the URNM, the URA divided by the uranium spot price. We will get into that later. But the gold to silver ratio, in my opinion, is my guide to play this massive precious metals gold and silver bull market that we are clearly in ever since we started to collapse here with, you know, gold to silver ratio being at what, 126. This is the first move down. The second wave, you know, the correction, third and fifth. I have made videos on the path that I think is most likely, and we are talking a lot lower ratio numbers here, where silver could perform insanely well when measured against gold. And gold will, in this period, also do really well. But silver will outperform that with huge numbers, in my opinion. And yeah, so that's all fantastic. And also something that I haven't seen many people talking about is the fact. And I say fact because I think I have stated my point here and shown many cases that if you flip it, you basically have the silver to gold ratio. And the silver to gold ratio is the most important factor to the miners. We are talking miners in copper, in uranium, in gold and silver, obviously. Platinum, I assume the same. I haven't checked that correlation, but I don't think I need to. So when you have silver outperforming, silver basically breaking out big time versus gold, like we have seen here ever since May, the miners across the board has done really well. Really well here. Uranium, maybe not so much, but at least, you know, platinum, copper, gold and silver has done really well. And the correlation is definitely also there for the uranium miners. And clearly here we broke down from the big trend lines. We basically grinded here for like, I don't know, 2 years or so. We finally broke down. We are retesting now. Well, we did retest and we rolled over last week. This is exactly what you want to see if you are invested into miners. This is an opportunity, in my opinion, you don't get very often. These big collapses in the gold to silver ratio. Silver outperforms heavily. Miners is doing even better, and yeah, we have a long way to go. It will be insanely volatile, and many people will lose their minds on the way down. In the ratio, that is. It will be, I think, not to hype anything, one for the books. It's really that simple here. Miners, commodities, yes. That's the place to be, in my opinion. The Dixie here, short term. I have cleaned up heavily here this weekend. 2024, we have a very well-defined trend line coming up here. We broke, retested, we came back in, and now we tagged the upper long-term golden, which goes back, I think, yeah, roughly 3 years. So not that long. Well, it all depends on who you are. But and now again we tagged it, and now we're coming down, breaking down once again, putting pressure on the downside for the dollar, and yeah, the dollar right now is it's still not all bad, because you can see that we have this kind of trend line here that we are basically pounding on, but can't seem to get through it. However, we are below the trend line here. Third weekly is still coming up slightly, so it is my theory that, well, if and when we get below 104 roughly, maybe even a bit earlier, depending on how you want to, you know, basically align, but we have some support there as well, then the Dixie, the dollar, is in trouble against other commodities. But basically right now we don't need it is good that you have a weaker dollar for gold and silver, yes. But gold and silver measured against the DXY, the dollar index, is outperforming. So just that's a pretty good thing to see. But still, for now at least, we haven't made any, cycle lower low. But definitely this could be the start. Last week we only saw red days, so we shall see. We shall see. It's still not, as mentioned here, it can go either way in my opinion, but again, the level to watch is simple. 104, definitely getting below there, very bad. And then we have the trend line here. And the level is right now at roughly 106, so you have this 2% range roughly. Yeah, we will check in on oil. Again, I did a huge cleanup, and again we are into resistance here. We are above the 82 and also above this green zone here. Maybe I should make it a tad greener. There it is. So we are into resistance, but we have a lot of short-term stuff here that is bullish for us above the 80 and the 82. 30 weekly is just oscillating down here. No clear direction. So, but being above is obviously never a bad thing. But you can see here zooming out if and when, if and when we break here, then yeah, oil could be in for a run here. No questions asked. I do think, however, we are a tiny bit stretched here. We had a long move, so potentially some downside for this week. But look for that, right there, 84 and change. That is a big level to get through. But when it does, we are breaking out, and we are looking for higher numbers on the oil. Basically going back to roughly at 15 months or so. This, we'll have to resolve either way really soon. If we break here, that will obviously help uranium, because energy is performing well. Uranium should catch a bit also, but also gold and silver and energy, mostly oil, they go hand in hand. So Bitcoin here we have a green support down here, which we marked before we tagged it basically to the tick there, and but definitely Bitcoin here is getting huge. It's not a collapse, not yet, but definitely a lot of selling is coming in. We have support here, just north of 50, but again here we are about to close the week for the first time in a long time below the 30 weekly. That's not ideal. I don't think we're going to crash. I do think we are in for some sort of bounce here. If it's a weak one, then the most likely scenario is that we are going further down. So the bulls need to really start to, have like a V-shape, not V-shape, but they need to step in here big time, not just some low momentum kind of thing, because then you have like a bear flag, right? So, but hey, let's see here which way we go. I still have my thesis on Bitcoin, like I've had for a long time, that this is basically a long-term fractal of Amazon leading up to the dot-com bubble. Until now, textbook, dead on, nothing to really deviate from that. I will cut this video in two. So this is the first part, guys. Have a great day if you don't see the second part, and see you for this week. Bye.